Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that compounding could be the biggest mistake of your life? It can destroy you. Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. He who doesn't pays it. This is the second part of the statement, which very few people realize without actually being the victim of it. Compounding is one of the greatest miracles of the financial world, but it can also be a menace. I want to save you from a blunder that you might make in your life and unravel misconceptions with half knowledge. One of the first problems that we have with compounding is the scarcity mindset. This is one of the things that I absolutely dislike related to the compounding principle. People who are worshippers of compounding, they look up to people like Warren Buffett, living a simple, frugal life, and admire him. There are many famous quotes from him on the importance of saving. As Warren Buffett said, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. I'm not saying that this is something bad, but people focus on few aspects and don't do full research and miss out on some very important information. For instance, the same Warren Buffett says, I just sit in my office and read all day. Go to bed smarter than you woke up, said Charlie Munger. So, the point is, there are two ways of looking at things through the lens of scarcity or abundance. Scarcity mindset is driven by fear that there will never be enough of anything, of the things that you need. If you see things differently, it will allow you to see possibilities even at times when the resources are limited. Abundant mindset allows you to take risks and go for what you want. Abundant mindset is the reason behind most successful people. They see the things with their mind that no one else can see. If you believe there is enough money for everyone, enough money to be made, there are endless possibilities. You will open your mind to a new world, and then you just need to put in the work. Believe in yourself. Numero dos. Second point, timing. Warren Buffett says time in the market beats market timing every time. Does this mean that you just put your money in the market? Any time is a good time as long as you keep it long enough, keep it in, and let the market do its thing. Yes and no. The market can be irrational, in fact, most of the time, either to the upside or to the downside. So it is better not to time the market, but it is also very important to understand the point at which you're investing. For instance, if you invested in Nasdaq during dot-com era at the peak when everything was extremely expensive, it took the market 15 years to recover back to the point it was 15 years ago. Imagine your dream of compounding millions of dollars. Even if you invest with the mindset of 10 years horizon, it is of no use if you don't understand what you're doing. One of the indicators to identify if the market is over, under, or fairly valued is the Buffett indicator, which is the value of the stock market divided by the GDP. If the value is less than 100%, the market is undervalued. Close to 100%, fairly valued. And above 100%, it starts going in the overvalued territory. On top of that, you can value the companies, for instance, using discounted cash flow model before you buy anything. Many giants have fallen in the past, which no one expected. Lehman Brothers had assets worth $691 billion when it filed for bankruptcy. Enron, Chrysler, General Motors, WorldCom, these companies were massive, had billions of dollars in assets. People invested billions. It is important to track your investment. You cannot just sleep and hope to wake up one day with millions of dollars. It is of paramount importance because if you lose more than 90% of your value in any stock, you will need 1000% return just to cover your cost. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. This is what Warren Buffett says. Other point I want to mention here is that if you know what you're doing, you can always dollar cost average into good stocks to reduce your cost basis. This is this could help mitigate some of the losses and help you recover faster, even if you invest at a bad time when the market is overvalued. Same is the story with many assets. For instance, property. From the lows of 2007, it took 6 years just to recover to the same point. Life is not a straight line on a graph. There are ups and downs. There are emergencies. Not everyone can keep the discipline of keeping their funds invested for decades. Debt trap. Compound interest is amazing for those who know how to use it properly, but those who don't are trapped in a cycle of endless interest payments. If you miss on your payment, there is interest on interest and other charges. It becomes a cycle. They take on more loans to pay off previous loans, old loans. Most people use debt to their disadvantage. They use it for cars, homes, phones, and luxuries. When they lose their job or an event like the financial crisis pops up, they find themselves in a bad place without even realizing that they are the ones themselves who set up for all of this. Nowadays, buy now and pay later schemes are very popular. If you cannot afford it, don't buy it. If you buy the things that you don't need, then in bad times you will have to sell the things you need. 9 in 10 Americans regard their homes as an investment and not a liability. This thinking is flawed, as the house will not bring you any additional dollars. It will bring you additional expenses and will not put anything back in your pocket. House is an investment when it puts money back into your pocket. Because most people misuse debt, the rich and the smart become richer and the poor become poorer. It creates inequality and increases the wealth gap between the rich and the poor. Taxes, expenses, inflation. Taxes, expenses, and inflation eat away your profits without you even realizing. It is true that if you invest in an asset, for instance, in a two-bedroom property for $100,000 and it becomes $200,000 after 10 years, but you need to realize it is not the only property that has doubled. All other properties have also gone up in value. With this appreciation, you cannot move to a bigger house. This is why the price you pay and the intention behind buying a property is very important. It is because of the time value of money and the money being printed by the governments. Living costs increase with the passage of time. That is why people who are unable to increase their wealth, increase their income with time, gets left behind and life becomes more and more difficult for them. Many people are not aware of the tax laws and regulation related to their income. Capital gains tax, taxes on dividend, and this is why they lose much of their wealth due to ignorance. I suggest you always consult your financial advisor in these matters. For the sake of giving you some idea, after the sale of property, you have to pay taxes. But by reinvesting the same amount in a particular way, you might be able to delay those taxes. There are many tricks in the tax book which the rich understand and use well. Corporations use pre-tax dollars for their expenses and then pay tax on whatever is left, whereas most people, government takes its share of taxes even before they see a dollar in their pocket and then pay taxes again when they spend on anything. Third point, when you invest in stocks, there are commissions by the brokers on your transactions. Not all brokers are equal. You need to check these things before you sign up with any broker. If you invest in a fund or ETF, they have their expenses, which seems like a small amount, but over the long term, these expenses take a large chunk of your returns. I would suggest never invest in a fund or an ETF with an expense ratio of more than 1%. Let's say there are two funds, Fund X and Fund Y, and we invest in each of those with an initial investment of $1 million, and the return is 8%. But they have different expense ratios. Fund X has 0.5%, Fund Y has 1% as its expense ratio. So the net return for Fund X is 7.5% and for Fund Y it is 7%. It is just 0.5% and seems very small. But after 20 years, assuming there are no more commissions or taxes, these are the results. Fund Y would grow to $3.8 million, whereas the Fund X would be $4.2 million. Do you see the difference? It is almost 10% difference in returns and the long-term growth. Life is short. Not everyone has 30, 40, or 60 years to wait until the money compounds and to reach their goals. Besides, how many people do you know who have become rich and successful just by saving? I don't know many, only a handful people. I believe in balanced life and in all things. I want to save, but I also want to enjoy my life at the moment, make memories with my family, be able to afford necessities and some luxuries. There are other ways to make money, and there are many aspiring stories in this world we live in and in many centuries that have passed. Just look at the top richest people and the most successful men: Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Jensen Huang. They managed to crack which no one else could. This is the photo of Jeff Bezos in his garage in early days of Amazon. The biggest money making machine is up here in your mind: money. One of the problems with compounding is the money itself. Yes, money. In compounding, you need money to make money, and not just for a few months, but for a very long time. You can either earn that money by hard work, your skills, or through passive income, through dividends, royalty income, rental income, something. This also means that you might have to sacrifice a lot of things in your life for a very long time for the snowball compounding to work, at the very least until your income is able to afford your living and also contribute to your investments to make them bigger. It is not an easy feat, people. This is why I also emphasize on the importance of your money making skills. You want to make money to enjoy the benefits and the independence it brings. But what's the point if you achieve it in 60 years? There is a huge opportunity cost involved. So, invest in yourself and learn how to make money to balance the scales between enjoying the life on the go and make it even better as you go. Despite all the problems and issues that we discussed, compounding is one of the strongest pillars in the wealth creation journey, and the understanding of it is vital if you want to be successful. Therefore, I suggest you to watch this video on the power of compounding and how it can change your life. As in finance, similarly, bad habits and practices also compound, but in the wrong direction. Imagine if you eat fast food all your life, what it will do to your body. You will age fast, you will be sick, your body will not be able to keep up, you will feel lazy, lethargic. You don't sleep well, you will start feeling like a zombie. And if you carry that on for some time, you will start getting sick. Your heart suffers, probability of diseases, even some dangerous ones, go up. Your brain function goes down. One bad night's sleep, a missed meeting. These on the surface might appear insignificant, but you just don't know what could happen down the road. There would be an effect, but it may take months to see. I will make a separate video on the non-financial compounding habits and practices. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts about this. Also, make sure to compound likes on this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this and turn it into a snowball. See you next time. Adios.